but in an appropriate way. And I kept guiding her to saying appropriate and appropriate, and I planted that seed of appropriate. You have a right to speak your mind, but you also have a right to respect the other person. Nobody has a right to go off and off the deep end and yell at you and tell you, what the hell is that? So in essence, I was saying, speak up for yourself, you have a right, but respect the other person, which also is the right thing to do. So that's how I was guiding her with mother, father, with the structure and the rules, but also with the permission. And it's a dance that you have with your client. It's a dance. Not all good, not all bad, supporting them and validating that those things are appropriate, but kind of making them see where perhaps there's room for improvement. And if you really had appropriate parents, but none of us were given a rule book, no one were given a manual on how to help a parent, so we've all fucked up, that's ideally how it would be done. So therapy is such a beautiful space when it's done appropriately, because it allows the client to rewrite their relationship with their parents and really have a normal childhood and really be heard and validated and really feel like their self-worth and that they're not dethroned by a baby that showed up. And that you don't have to be masculine and fuck the guy and leave him and be all, that it's okay to be feminine and it's okay to be a stay-at-home mom. That's the shift that happens in counseling when it's done appropriately. It's beautiful. It really is a beautiful profession. You show up for your client shows up to get better, and you heal in the process. Because what happened to her, whatever that was with the cheerleading or whatever, that triggers your own crap. Something there's some transference in what happened there. I don't know what the story is. But the relationship triggers your own thing, and I've told you guys before, when you have a client, and we're going to do a mock, what time is it? We have time?
11:26.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Maybe not. On Thursday.
Stupid watch.
In the relationship, if you work on yourself, so to speak, then you take what happens in a session and you see where it applies to you. So today, when I was talking to this woman and I kept saying this thing about matriarch, I kept telling her this thing about being appropriate, I must in my life see where I need to be the matriarch and I need to be appropriate. I have to take those things home and work on myself. That's the gift of the relationship. It's not just for your client, it's for you too. So every one of you should take something home from our two clients today. Because you're all here. You all participated in this session. Therefore, there's something for you that should trigger something in yourself. And I saw it.
Yeah.
I saw she said something and immediately you were triggered. What happened?
Big time.
No?
When I asked you if you lived with Gabby, was because of that. When I was young, my mom's cousin, she had a daughter, and I think I'm like 2-3 years older than her. And since she was a little girl, she always had the most amazing body ever. This girl, like, she was younger than me, she had a better body than me. I'm like, how the fuck, you know? And my mom's cousin got divorced. My mom brought her to live with us. This girl started going to my school, started going, like, living in my house, started doing everything with me, and I'm an only child, so I'm like, get the fuck away from me. I'm by myself. I've always been by myself. Get the way, don't leave me alone. I had to sleep with her. I had to eat with her. I had to teach her how to clean. I had to teach her how to, like, wash dishes because she didn't know how to do any of that. And the biggest problem that I had is that she didn't know how to do those things, so I had to do it double the work, because the days that she was supposed to clean the house, she didn't know how to clean. So my mom was like, oh, let her so she can learn. I'm like, why the fuck would I let her finish when she finished, I have to start all over again and clean the entire house because she did a horrible job. So that was like, I don't know, I was around again like 7 or 8, maybe like 5, maybe like 6, between 6 and 8. Then she started growing up, she started getting her boobs, she started getting hair on her legs, and I was here like hairless. I'm like, fuck. I know, I see it now, but when I was there, I'm like, she's younger than me, she got a better body, she has the face. I always was like, no bitch, I got a pretty face and you don't. So that was like the only thing I could hold on to. But anyways, long story short, when we started growing up, the guys came into the picture. And I remember we would walk, in our neighborhood, and guys would be like, whoo, whatever. And even they would actually reach out to me and call me, hey, come here. And here I go, hi. He's like, oh, who's that? I'll be like, fuck me. Every fucking time a guy would call me over was to ask me about my cousin. And I'll be like, that's my cousin. Like, oh, can you introduce her to me? Like, okay. So I would introduce him to the guys, whatever. The only thing that helped me get over that hate that I have for this person was the fact that yes, she was sexier, because she did have, like, she was very, very skinny, but she had big eyes, and she had this habit of going like that. So she already had like huge eyes, and she would go like that to people. So she was kind of freaky, but again, that's not what guys care. They care that she had a cute butt and like little breasts. And after just an hour of talking with her, they'll be like, yo, come here. I'm like, what? It's like, no, I'd rather talk to you. She's a pain in the neck. Because she was rude. She wasn't smart. Like, she had no topic to talk about, with guys. She had that whole face going on. She'd be like, like crazy looking at you. Yeah, like crazy. So, yes, it impacted when my mom brought them into our home, and I had to share everything with her, my clothes, my perfume, my everything, and then my school, and then my friends. And then since she was the daughter of a divorced couple and they had such a bad marriage, she was like, oh, pobrecita, here, Nelly, let her play with your toys, here. And I had to, because I couldn't say nothing to my mom, because she would beat the fuck out of me, Like, whenever I say, Mom, I don't want to give her my toys, or Mom, whenever I let her borrow my shoes, she always brings them back dirty, and she breaks them. She breaks everything that she touches. And my mom be like, don't be selfish.
You're giving the client some information.
Mhm.
We need to make it relevant. It started losing its relevance.
Mhm.
It was very good at first, and then it lost its relevance. But you said that you changed as a result. That one of the things that helped you overcome
Oh,
that
yeah.
anger that you had was when guys started realizing that she was un seso hueco, basically.
Mhm. Yeah. So basically, I made it my goal to be, while she was hanging out with boys and being all sexy and wearing like super shorts con like media nalga afuera, having her ass out, I focus on doing my homework, being smart, being nice to people, have like I lost the word. I forget. Basically, I was becoming a more beautiful person inside than I was outside.
A more whole person.
Yeah. And
And having conversation with other people and working on your studies and things like that, that makes you well-rounded and whole. Whereas all she really had was her looks.
yeah. And after we got, like 15, 16, that was like, okay, that's enough. And I was 12 and I moved to England. So I was like, whew, finally, I'm out of this bitch bubble area. And I'm going to tell you, when you said that you hated her so much and all that stuff, it reminded me that I would always tell myself, I want to move to another planet because I don't want to breathe the same air she does. I don't want to be touching the same earth she does. Like, I hated this person so bad. And after I moved, I was like, you know what? And after I moved, and I realized what the way I was thinking towards her and the fact that how I was reacting to how she made me feel was so negative and so bad. I was like, I gotta cool it down, because I felt guilty. Again, when you said, oh, I feel guilty that I hated her, you know, now we're so close. I feel guilty that I was the one that got the chance to leave Cuba. And I feel guilty that, you know, all of her
But
boyfriends
those are
lasted
other
like 2 days.
issues. Those are other issues. What I want to stop at is the therapeutic piece of you sharing a personal story that helps the client. And that story would help the client in the sense that you can resonate with what she's going through. You also felt this way, but what you learned, okay, beauty's important. We're not trying to change that. But what else can we give the client so that self-worth is increased, that isn't only based on looks? Looks fade. Looks are temporary. What can you build from the inside out for this client that's going to have them value themselves? And you said it, you started concentrating on your studies, you became more of a whole person, you had topics of conversation. Those are things that can't be taken from Nellis. Those are things that now she has integrated in herself, into her being. So that was a very appropriate intervention, a share with your client, because you got on her page, you understood, and she heard, oh, well, this person that I respect, you would hope that you respect your therapist, did it too, still cares about her appearance, but found other things that matter. I can do that also. That's when we share that's appropriate. But you have, just like you asked the question with a hypothesis in mind, you share with something in mind, that you're trying to get the client to change for a reason. When you share this, it's going to impact them or make them think about it, just like when you give them a book to read, or just like when you recommend a movie. The other day I had a client, and I'm trying to remember what it was, but I said, do you remember the movie Pretty Woman? There was it was about creation. We were talking about the person building and being creative. All of us need to feel like we're creating something. It's the human energy. I've told you that sexual energy is the most important energy in the world. Not because of sex, but because of creation, second chakra. Okay, and I told you that when the Christian slapped the Virgin on the Virgin Mary, bunch of bullshit, it was to own our creative energy, our sexual energy. If they could keep us, if they can control our sexual energy, then they controlled us. Whoever controls your creative force controls you. Okay? That's why sex is such a power play. So I was talking to this client, I don't remember the specifics, but we were talking about the creative energy and how this person needed to create something. And it reminded me of the Pretty Woman movie. In Pretty Woman, I might be aging myself, but, you know, has everyone seen Pretty Woman? Mm-hmm. Oh, okay, because that's a classic, but, you know. There's a scene where Julia Roberts says to Richard Gere, oh, so you don't make anything? And he's like, no, I take companies apart and I sell them. And where's the energy of creation? Where's the energy of making something? And she planted a seed where he's like, damn, I don't contribute anything to the world. I don't create anything. He makes a lot of money, but what is he creating? And she said, you don't make anything? And after that, he starts to change. And there's a scene following that where she takes him to the park and says, take off your shoes and she makes him touch her feet on the grass, because it's an energy of create. We need to feel like we're contributing something. It goes back to the ikigai. It goes back to our purpose and our meaning. What are you creating in the world? What are you contributing? And that's part of what you make your client realize. You're beautiful, but that doesn't mean that that's going to help you create something. But your brains can help you contribute something. You said independence, you said strength. Those qualities will get you to create something. And we want our clients to feel as if they're a contribution to society, if there's a contribution to the world. Can you say to yourself right now what you create? Do any of you feel you contribute something, that you create something and give it to the world?
Not yet.
No.
That's one of the reasons why people feel so unfulfilled. So I was giving her this example, and I was like, when Julia Roberts says, so you don't make anything? What do you make? In your day, the end of the day, when you go to sleep, can you say I made something? And I don't mean physically make. Did you take your sexual creative energy, the force in which this world turns, and do something with it? Or did you just masturbate and let it, just let it go? I'm speaking figuratively and symbolically. Or did you take that energy and do something with it? You want your client to get up and feel productive and do something with their life. A lot of people feel useless. They feel like they're not doing anything really meaningful. And it doesn't have to be saving the world. It doesn't have to be opening a nonprofit. It doesn't have to be writing a book. But each day you have creative energy that you can say, I made something, I created something. And you guys do this when you're working with clients. That's what you're making, that's what you're creating. But if your life is being wasted and you're not really doing anything, you gotta reevaluate. You gotta reevaluate why you're here. Goes back to what I was telling you earlier about the hedonic and the eudaimonic. If everything is just about hedonism, if everything is just about pleasure, and there's no self-worth, there's no self-improvement, then you're also wasting that sexual energy. It's about both. It's about what am I creating with the energy that I've been given. That's what makes someone feel worthy. The signage sheet. No, it's right next to you.
Oh. I thought you needed a pen.
So, imparting wisdom on your clients and having them see that they contribute to the world, that's part of our job. Clients wear blinders. People are like this. I'm a loser, I'm a fuck up, I don't do anything, I'm a mess, my life's chaos, blah, 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 I don't have a job, I don't have a lover, Our job is to say, wait a minute. I'm hearing that you created this. I'm hearing that you made this. And making them realize that they're more valuable and needed on this planet than they know it to be. Because most people in childhood were just criticized. They weren't necessarily lifted up and said, you are worthy and you are enough just as you are. So most people, we get so intimidated by other people because they're pretty or they're thin or they're big. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. Everybody is in pain. Everybody is insecure. Everybody feels useless. Everybody feels worthless. Do not kid yourself because someone drives a nice car or has a big paycheck. All types of people are in therapy. Trust me. I'm an expensive therapist. So it doesn't matter how much money you have in the bank. People feel worthless because at the root they weren't really ever just validated as they were. It was always like you have to change, you have to get better, you better do this, comparing to your brother, comparing to your sister. So if you can have a person understand that they have everything they need to create something, contribute something to the world, just as they are, you've done one hell of a good job with a client. The tweaks are small. I had a client on Saturday, and I said to her, I wish I could tell you that you had to make these monumental shifts, but taking time out to read a book, taking time out to go to the gym, taking time out to take a walk in the park, those are the things that are going to change your life. I said, I don't have any major secret for you. And she was so grateful. She's like, I'm going to start reading a book. So do not think that the change has to be humongous. It's just a little tweak to get the person to get out of their own thinking, their negative thinking, and realizing that they're worthwhile, that they already have everything. You already have everything in you that you need to create what you came to do in this world. But you need to show the fuck up. You gotta show up for your life. And people that don't show up to sessions, or don't show up to class, or don't show up to the relationship, whatever it is that they're doing, they can't succeed because they're not showing up. So if your client is showing up for therapy, if you're showing up for class, you're halfway there. Questions? Okay. I didn't cover anything that I was going to cover today. So thank you, patients, for being guinea pigs today. Thursday